carb Pop-Tart. It's got 3 to 4 grams of net carbs, and we love this show. This is our best place to be in LA.
Welcome back to Legendary Foods Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're leading off the show today with some breaking news coming straight from Cedric McMillan's camp, who announced on Monday that he was pulling out of the Arnold Classic based on recommendations from his doctor. As many of you already know, Cedric had to pull out of a few shows last season due to various injury issues, so this doesn't come as a complete surprise or out of left field. But it does take a little bit of wind out of the sails for all the people who are looking forward to seeing him compete again. But if there is only a silver lining here, Cedric also said that he's going to be a part of the broadcast team this year, which means that he still will be visible. And if you've been following Cedric for any period of time, you already know he's a walking quote machine, so putting him in front of a mic could make the whole weekend a whole lot more entertaining. And who knows, if things go well enough, maybe this will be his first step into becoming a member of the media after he decides to ride off into retirement. We have one more bit of Arnold Classic news for you today, with this coming from William Bonac, who announced a few days ago that he was teaming up with Abdullah Al-Otabi for the rest of his prep to, quote, put together a formula that combines an old mix with a new flavor. For those of you who don't know, Abdullah is part of the Camel Crew, and he's worked with all sorts of athletes over the years, including Brandon Curry, Justin Rodriguez, and Ahmad Al-Dassani, just to name a few. For William, as the defending champ who's looking to make it 2 in a row, making the move now with a little less than 1 month to go does come as a little bit of a surprise. That being said, if everything goes as expected, it might give us something else to consider a few weeks later when he steps onto the stage at the Olympia, where he could wind up being even more dangerous. In certain sports, being out of sight and out of mind can give you a competitive advantage. I don't think that's as true in bodybuilding as it might be in other avenues, but I will say this: being out of sight and out of mind seems to be doing the trick for Regan Grimes right now. All the reports that we've seen coming out of Regan's camp lately have been nothing but positive, and for whatever reason, it does seem like being able to stay under the radar and take the entire first part of the season off from competing has gone a long way towards helping him make some major improvements. The Regan we saw last year at the tail end of the season definitely felt like he was trending in the right direction, and based on what we're seeing now, it looks like his stock is about to keep trending up. And speaking of out of sight and out of mind, how about the new update from Eduardo Correa that we saw last weekend? For those of you who don't know, Eduardo's been bitten by the injury bug more times than I can count over the last few years, which has resulted in him having to undergo a number of surgeries, including one that he just had a few months ago that ended up putting him out of commission for a little while. But I'm happy to report that Eduardo is almost back to feeling like his old self again, and that he's essentially looking at this as an opportunity to have a fresh new start. We all know how good Eduardo was a few years ago before the injuries, when he was at the peak of his powers. So if he can manage to stay healthy and get back to being that guy again, it'll be interesting to see how that version of him stacks up against the other elite athletes in the 212 division. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.